Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for holding a hearing on this very important issue and this very bipartisan bill. It was signed into law last December, something that we worked on for over 5 years to not only get it signed into law, but now making sure its implementation goes through very, very quickly. Federal government manages over 254,000 buildings, comprising 2.5 billion square feet. And the GAO has consistently said that the federal government just doesn't do a very good job of managing those properties. In fact, early on, we had to embarrass agencies on the old post office, first of all, then the Georgetown heating plant, federal courthouses across the country, areas that have been sitting vacant for years, if not decades, costing us millions of dollars every single year in maintenance and upkeep. We can do a much better job reducing costs, but also coming up with funds that will help us to reduce our debt and move our priorities forward. But getting FASTA implemented is key. This is a new tool that will get rid of burdensome reviews and make sure that we are waiving a lot of the disposal process and making sure that we streamline the process as well. These tools provide a great opportunity for the federal government and the taxpayer, but first, the Public Buildings Reform Board must be established. The nonpartisan and professional board is integral to identifying not only the waste, but a lot of the unneeded properties and help us to move those forward. I'm glad to see that the administration as well as the Appropriations Committee have both recognized from the budget perspective that we've got to allocate money to establish the board, but we've got to get this board up and running very, very quickly. And while the resources will be important next year, there are actions that can occur right now that will benefit FASTA. We've got to leverage existing authority for public-private partnerships in innovative ways like ground lease, leaseback, and discount purchase options. The potential to save billions of dollars is real, but the window to implement FASTA has to be precise. It'll take a coordinated effort to achieve the goals of housing more federal employees in less space, reducing our reliance on costly lease space, and selling high-value assets that are too valuable for housing federal employees. So I am proud that we've worked on a bipartisan level. Chairman, thank you very much for not only your partnership on this, but helping us to get this across the finish line. Now the important piece is getting it implemented and disposing, liquidating of these properties that are costing us millions of dollars every single year. I've got a time for just a couple of quick questions. Mr. Horn, in June I wrote a letter to OMB requesting assistance with structuring the board this year and the importance of doing so. Appointment of the board triggers a 180-day deadline for board recommendations to OMB and GSA. A concern that I raised in the letter is the board is appointed, but commercial real estate consultation is unavailable because salaries and expenses have not been provided. What is GSA doing to make its own resources available to the board so we can move quickly?
Thank you for the question. Obviously, we very much appreciate the legislation. We think it's a terrific way to help better manage underutilized properties. While we're waiting for the board, we've collected all the data. We have a list of 82 projects from 14 agencies, many from GSA and from VA. We're working with following up with agencies who submitted information to resolve questions and concerns and basically have the information 100% ready for the board when they do show up.
Thank you. And oftentimes, due to budgetary scoring rules, GSA undergoes successive operating leases. Could also result in paying for properties multiple times their value over the long run. If the federal government were to buy the property, the total cost would need to be provided up front. Under an operating lease, only the value of 1 year of the lease needs to be provided in accordance with the current scoring rules. If GSA could utilize public-private partnerships like ground lease, leasebacks, without needing to provide the total project cost up front, would GSA be interested in pursuing such opportunities?
We would very much be interested in working with the committee and with OMB to pursue those opportunities.
And could that also prevent GSA from paying for the properties beyond their total value and yield taxpayer savings?
It would.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.